But no, Beth, yours goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back to the CVRcade World Cup. My name is Jesper Anker and we are in the last day of racing in the open sessions. This is the last day of quote-unquote fun racing, as my good friend Ryan Goldenberg said, because from next week it's time to get serious. Here in the open sessions, everybody's been racing to qualify to get into the bracketed sessions that start next week. And whoever wins that elite bracket omnium session of next month of racing here on CVRcade World Cup will take $3,000, and that's what's on display. That's what's up for grabs. But here on this lovely Saturday morning for Zone E, we've got racers around the world. They're waking up early in the morning to get racing. There is a new update out on the CVRcade world today, the realm, and we are aware that some are having issues downloading it into those. I hope to see you racing later on tonight with Zone K and Zone L. But what this means is that those that made it in, you've got a better chance of winning and progressing up through the standings. 36 seconds to go before Zone E gets underway. We've got Echelon 2 laps. We've got Country Rally 2 laps. Hypnotic Highway 1 lap. Dust Ball Crit 2 laps. And Fantastic Alien C. We'll go chat to the racers after this first race as they all get ready. You can see Thomas Tiberling, Matti Pikelny. They're getting ready for the race, and we've also got Kayla Laguna in on the broadcast, all sharing their paint faces. 5 races on display today. It's a new record high for races in one zone. It's going to be interesting to see, and look how dark it is over in Tucson. The sheer dedication to get up at the break of dawn from Kayla Laguna is awesome to see. But here we go. 10 racers made it to the start line. Thomas Tippling just feeling a bit of difficulties there at 5 in the 5th spot further back. This first race is a no skill event, meaning you've got those power-ups as abilities, Uncrashable, Corner Caper, and a Quantum Shift. You also get one comeback kit, which Kayla finds herself using far down in 14th place, so trying to make her way back up. As you can see, she's now trying to get back onto the bots, and she's got a chance with the bots to leapfrog back to the front group. But Team Cognition have shown up with numbers today. Matti Pikelny, you can see, just roll out of bed. He's got a hair. Usually, Matti Pikelny does not have a hair out of place. Oh, sorry, Moti, as we heard him say he prefers to Beth. Moti usually doesn't have a hair out of place. Today, you can see he's getting ready to rock up because Sadeo Ikibe, Daniel LeBlanc, they are ready and ready to rock as they've been racing very well recently. But Niels Heldens, the Tempest, and I asked Niels, or I asked him in the broadcast, how come the nickname? Well, the thing is, they choose to nickname their riders after airplanes. They choose to go through old iconic airplanes and pick the names. Tim Fulford is known as Spitfire. Niels Heldens is known as the Tempest. Now, we'll see who's going to be the superior airplane pilot. Is it going to be the Tempest or the Spitfire? Today, we've only got the Tempest here in the first race, but nonetheless, it should make for some good racing. Thomas Tippling and Homer Thompson are further down. They're just being distanced from the group, but with 5 races on hand today, there is a lot of racing because you get Echelon. It's a no-skill event. After this, we've got a country rally race, only 2 laps with an ability. Like today, every race has an ability. The first one has 3, but as we move in, they all have different abilities. Moti must feel quite confident in the position he's in right now because he's got 3 cognition members versus 1 team cycling hub. So 4 riders up here: Sadeo Ikiba, Daniel LeBlanc, Niels Heldens, and Moti Pikelny. How do they play this one? It's 2 laps of echelon. They've done one now, and they're going to do another one. You can see Moti putting down the pressure here. He does not want Homer Thompson and Thomas Tibbling to get back, and he definitely does not want Kayla either. So he is accelerating here and forcing the rest to either come with him or sit in. So Dewey Keeper on the wheel, Daniel LeBlanc on the wheel of Niels Heldens, but he is up against it here. As good news to everybody who's a fan of the Akiba shuffle. Sadeo, let me know prior to the broadcast. He's gone out and gotten a new computer. And as of next week, Sadeo Akiba is going to be broadcasting into the broadcast. I cannot wait. Because from those that have seen him at CVR World Cup events in the past, he's got the rock. But as we hold up, Thomas Tippling, comeback kid. He used Homer Thompson to work together, and now he's going to work to get back up to the front group. Both Homer and Thomas using the comeback kit here. As you can see, Thomas sitting in, resting up, getting ready. He's got a comeback kit for 45 seconds until he catches the front group. 3 seconds up the road. He can see them. 2 seconds, 1 second. The momentum change here. If you're Thomas, you've got to wonder, do you ever go straight through the group and try and attack over the top? As we see, he's got momentum. 53 kilometers an hour. Homer Thompson is next. He's further down. So what does Moti and the rest of Team Cognition do? Daniel LeBlanc, he's on it. The Canadian, up and early. He's had his Wheaties, and he is on the wheel of Thomas Tippling. So Thomas with 1 kilometer to go. He is staying on it. And you can see the sheer determination as he's breaking away with one of the Cognition riders, the Tempest, Niels Heldens, first to react. And with 900 meters to go, we get ready for the sprint finale. Daniel LeBlanc, though, he's having a bit of a different mindset. He's attacking away, and he's got a gap 700 meters off the front. The Canadian that everybody roots for alongside Ryan Goldenberg in the racing here in CVRcade World Cup has got a gap. 1,000 equalized watts. Niels Heldens with 500 meters to go. Remember, this is a 1 scoring multiplier event, and they are racing all out. Moti Pikelny was now catching up to Niels Heldens. 400 meters to go, and he's going to go right on through Niels. And what next? Does he sit up? Does he? Yeah, you can see him slightly sit up, look around, and Niels counterattacks. He sits on the wheel, but 4 seconds up the road, Daniel LeBlanc. Oh my goodness. He won a race on Dark Matter Spire last Thursday. And here on Saturday, he's going to win another race. It warms my heart. Daniel LeBlanc of Cognition. Now, Moti versus Niels. It's going to be Niels Heldens who takes it on the line, I believe, with Thomas Tibbling. Brave attack. He got back in. He gathered the points he needed. Niels does beat Moti to the line, but points up for grabs in the first race here in Echelon. And now we get ready for Country Rally. The power up, they've got wind at their back as an ability. It's going to make for absolute carnage. But congratulations to Team Cognition. They had the numbers. They played it to their advantage. And Daniel LeBlanc, early attack. Moti covering moves. Niels, though, the Tempest doing a good job limiting his losses, but how will he fare over 5 races? Moti, congratulations on the win for Cognition. When you had the numbers, you had Sadeo, Daniel, and you. What was the strategy?
Oh, that was great. Daniel did a great job. He made his move, and we just had to not chase, and he got a good gap and held it. Wasn't easy to do, but it was awesome.
Wow. Well, I was going to say it's really fascinating to see because you've got 3 different time zones from Team Cognition, but you're showing up in numbers. I'm seeing Country Rally, win that back ability. How do you feel about this race coming up next? Because the trees are blowing a storm.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of carnage. It's going to be crowded. We're going to have to watch the corner speeds. We got to preserve the points that Daniel picked up there and
Hello.
Keep ourselves at the top of the podium. And I've got my little power assistant.
That's brilliant. Hello there. Well,
Cognition.
oh, I'm still waiting to see the matching kit for extra bonus points. We've yet to see someone get 6 bonus points for matching jerseys ×2, but
That's
maybe
right.
the Bikelny household will be the first one. Thanks, Moti. Thomas, that last race, it didn't really start the way the Team CCC wanted it to. Are you going to be able to make up for it in the next 4 races?
Yeah, I mean, everything, it was a little bit of a mess with the update and everything and getting rushed into everything. Missed the start. So, a little chaotic. And I had a gap. And I thought, let's try. But then, you know, it's so hard when somebody comes flying through you to catch that guy. So, a little fortunate, bad planning. But that's how it is. But this will be fun.
I was going to say, you've got Homer with you. What's it like having a teammate out there, you guys racing and talking together?
Oh, it's good. Always feels like you're a team. So, but then I guess these are a little bit too short to work as a team on the track. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say.
Well, we'll see. Team Cognition versus Team Cycling Hub versus CCC and CVRcade. Good luck, Thomas. Good luck, Moti. Thanks, as always, for taking the time in between the races. This is the CVRcade World Cup. We're streaming live here on this Saturday, and some of you out there watching, you're watching for the first time. It's physical esports. This is the future. I mean, you've seen the Olympics. They're taking on esports now as a real discipline, and this is where the future is headed when it comes to esports and how you onboard the esports into the, you know, the real life disciplines of sports. And this mixes the physical ability of riding your bike. As you can see, I've got my little stress toy here. It is soon Christmas, so we got a little thing in the stream, but it is that mix of having to push the power through your legs that controls the power of your bike, just like a controller would, but instead of using your thumbs, you use your legs, and that's what you're going to see. And now, with the correct mix of mental ability and pure strength in the legs, we take on Country Rally and we get ready to go with Thomas Tibbling, Matti Pikelny, and Kayla Laguna out there broadcasting into the broadcast. Here we go. You got 2 power-ups available. You've got Inertia and Uncrashable. So we're going to see what happens now in this race. For the first time ever, we've got wind at your back, and what you'll notice left and right, the trees, they move according to the wind. So don't worry, they do have a storm out there, but it's a storm that's a full-on tailwind. Daniel LeBlanc is up to an early lead. Niels Heldens is up there, and then Thomas Tibbling. He uses Uncrashable at this point. He can go straight through the board. So Thomas using the gameplay dynamics to his advantage. He's got to be careful it doesn't run out, but look at the advantage he's just established from that. A 3-second gap as he goes crashing down. Oh, he pulled a Frank Garcia when you're just hoping, you're just running through, and then for a second you forget, oh, I need to brake. I've got so much of a gap. So, and then Daniel LeBlanc, I think what happens there is he crashes, he came into the corner a bit too hot. He tried to take a lane in, as then Homer slams into the back of him, and he falls off his bicycle. Moti on the front, Thomas in hot pursuit. This race has a scoring multiplier of 2. It's tied for the biggest scoring multiplier of the day with Fantastic Alien C that makes up the last race. So we look, what is Team Cognition's strategy? They've got 3 races in here. None of them have a preferred zone. Thomas Tibbling come into this racing with an advantage. He is the only racer in here, I believe, with a preferred zone. I think Sadeo has preferred zones on Tuesdays and Thursdays here in Sony, not for Saturday. And then Timothy Tamont also has preferred zone, but he unfortunately did not set an alarm correctly to wake up at this time of the day. So Moti uses Inertia. Thomas Tibbling uses Inertia, both on the straightaway here. As we've only got 2 laps, you only have to do 2 laps, and with the power-up selection, you have to use them aggressively. So Moti, his job now seems to be, can I take points away from Thomas? and keep them down for Daniel and the rest. Niels Heldens, the Tempest, is accelerating in. He's got his uncrashable on, but will it last? Oh, he comes through as Daniel LeBlanc. No, he hits right into the barn door. He doesn't see what's right in front of him. And now at the front of the affair, Moti and Thomas. Kayla Laguna in 4th place, totally consumed by darkness. You see the bright light that is Kayla, but Thomas Tibbling, the Swede, he is ready to go. The yellow jersey of CCC, the yellow jersey of the flag. But I think without any crashes, Moti Pikelny will take the very chaotic 2 laps of racing here on Country Rally. Kayla, though, she's got points she can make up. Look at this. She's accelerating up now with Uncrashable. She breaks down and she forces a mistake out of Niels Heldens. So Niels, despite finishing 2nd in the last race, not performing to the best of the Tempest ability here in the 2nd race. 200 meters to go. It'll be a right and a left-hand turn for Moti Pikelny of Team Cognition, and they will make it 2 wins in a row here, as he's only got the locks to keep an eye on, taking a right, trying to save some energy for the long race of the day on Hypnotic Highway. Moti, business as usual, happy with that one. Thumbs up. Thomas Tibbling, 2nd place, taking some important points. Kayla comes 3rd in the end. Then you have Daniel LeBlanc, comes through the logs. He will be 4th. Niels Heldens will be 5th. Then Sadeo Wikiba and Homer Thompson taking 6th and 7th. Let's have a look at Moti Pikelny's thumbs up. He looked like he was in control. He was happy with it, but perhaps looking down, looking for his Team Cognition teammates, thinking it could have been more. But now with the next race coming up, that is where having teammates comes into its own, because it is the low skill event of the day, meaning that you've got Uncrashable as an ability at all times. You get 1 Quantum Shift and 1 Razor's Edge. This is where we'll see attacks, we'll see echelons, and we'll see real life racing physics come into its own. But Moti, congratulations on the win. You looked happy, but it looked like you wanted more out of that Country Rally race. Oh, I think he wanted more, as he's gone away to fill up some B-downs. Well, what we'll do is we'll go talk to Kayla, because Kayla, just how early is it where you are? Oh, never mind. We've got Kayla here. It looks so early, Kayla. What time is it?
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. here in Arizona, so it's just a little bit early on a Friday. Friday going into a Saturday. But I love being able to ride, and it's just great because it's just so easy. I can just hop right out of bed, get online, play with people, and it's just, gosh, the convenience of just having fun. It's just so great.
Can we take a moment to appreciate that? I texted Timothy Tamont 10 minutes before the race again. He goes, "Oh shoot, I forgot to set my alarm," and it's noon for him, and Kayla, it's 4 a.m. in the morning for you. So, respect. 2 races down, Kayla. You come into Hypnotic Highway. Usually, this is where we see your team, Team CVR, dominate with the numbers, but you're making it up on your own. How are you going to try and take down Cognition, Cycling Hub, and CCC?
Yeah, so the numbers are on the Team Cognition and Team CC, but doesn't mean that it's over, though. We got it's just 1 lap on Hypnotic Highway, but it's a long lap. So just going to try to stay in with the groups and try not to lose my draft. And we have Quantum Shift and Razor's Edge of it available, so not sure if people are going to try to do that right out of the gun or wait till maybe halfway later to start. So I'm just going to try to read the group and stay with the other teams and just hopefully put an attack in there and get some points on the scoreboard.
That sounds like a good strategy ahead of Hypnotic Highway. Good luck, Kayla and Team CVR. Moti, that last race, you took the win, but I couldn't help but notice that it seemed like you wanted more from that last race on Country Rally.
Yeah, I was hoping that some of my teammates could stay up a little bit higher in the results, but we did come in 3rd, and it looked like 6th as well. So we're still occupying favorable spots on the scoreboard, and we've got a nice longer race that suits team tactics more than the shorter race on Hypnotic Highway. It's updating. We're busy updating the Beyblade app at the same time that we're playing in this game. So multitasking here at Team Cognition headquarters.
I was gonna ask if that was CVRcade updating on the side, because good luck getting in. Best of luck, Cognition, Moti, Sadeo, and Daniel. Some of the I really, really enjoy seeing the team aspects of the CVRcade World Cup, because first up, they were called Team Chaos, as they're now called Team CCC. They established themselves by taking the individuals that were on as early beta testers and made a team together. Then Cognition, Allison, and Moti, they were like, you know what? That's a good idea. And with the money on offer, the $25,000 prize purse is not a bad idea to gather up some individuals and go racing together, especially as the bracketed session starts very soon. Thomas Tibbling, he's got Homer out there. He's got a support. Kayla is all on her own. Niels Heldens, the Tempest. He's going to go up against Cognition here on Hypnotic Highway. And they do say life is a highway. And we'll see who's going to rock it on the road now. As Daniel LeBlanc, early start. You get one quantum shift, one racer's edge. No more wind at your back ability here. And the scoreboard, it is close at the top. Daniel, Moti, Thomas, Kayla. I mean, at this point, we're halfway through the racing. Anyone can really win, as we see Moti using Racer's Edge here. So just missing out on the initial boost. So perhaps the update from Beyblade didn't go quite successful on that side, as they get ready in the Moti Pikelny household. We look, Kayla and Sadeo, they choose to stay with the butts, as they are further down in 13th and 14th. Looks like Kayla may just have a mechanical, and she might be requiring some help from the pit crew, but we keep our eyes on the front. So with the butts, they can be a big help. They ride at 344 equalized watts, but with only one lap, I would assume that the pace, especially the normalized power that we're going to see from these riders, will be above that sort of threshold of 367 equalized watts. So the bots are going to be a good help, but at some point or another, you will have to make an attack. But look at the teamwork being displayed. They might be racing these fantastical bikes, as Kayla just passes Sadeo. They may be racing these fantastical looking creatures, but the real riding dynamics, like you hear it again, you heard Thomas say it feels good to be riding as a team. When you look at the front and you have Daniel and Moti, when Daniel sits on the wheel of Moti, they are in communication. They're using the in-game audio. They're chatting as Daniel just sits up a tiny bit, and Moti goes, right, get on my wheel, get on my wheel. You get a draft and I will drag you. And then the time will come where Moti will say, right, I'm going to swing to the right, you swing to the left, and you sprint everything you've got, and you try and drop that group behind. But the thing is, it's realistic, so everybody knows kind of what's happening, because these riders, they have raced on the road. They understand when you replicate road racing dynamics, you just have to learn from the same strategies you took outside and apply them indoors. But the pace isn't too high already. And Sadeo is staying with Robert, with Clarence, with Elisha, and he's sitting further down here with Kayla Laguna as well. They're only 4 seconds back, and they could possibly make their way back. So the question becomes, does Cognition set the pace? Are they happy to put the move on the front? Because now it's Homer Thompson for Thomas Tibbling. This is really turning out to be an interesting race dynamic with Homer Thompson. I mean, how can you not smile when you watch Homer race? That guy just oozes happiness and exuberance as he now finds himself on the front of the race. But those bots aren't far behind. Sadeo is now 4 seconds back and 6 kilometers to go. Daniel LeBlanc is at 191 equalized heart rate, so he's feeling it. Thomas at 184, Niels at 181. They're all just one long line as Kayla Laguna uses her quantum shift. Will she try to bridge across? No, I think she's just using it to get that bit more drafting. So 4 seconds back is far from over from Kayla and Sadeo. They can work with the bots. They can work together, and they can get up to the front group here as the distance is 4 seconds. Moti Pikelny now is just letting go of the group ever so slightly with Daniel LeBlanc on the front. 500 equalized. This is a move. Now, how does Thomas Tibbling and CCC react to this? The first blow has been stricken by Team Cognition. On the right, you have Daniel LeBlanc. You have Thomas Tibbling on the left here of Sweden. He's attempting to stay with his teammate Homer Thompson, but he's not glued on. He's not on that right wheel. He's not getting absolute drafting percentages, as now you see Niels Heldens. He's sticking with the position he's in. He's on the wheel of Thomas Tibbling, and he is opting to say, you know what? I'm not going to risk it just yet, but he's getting nervous. You can see him move on over, and say, okay, Thomas is not closing this down. I now have to do it myself. And he goes to the front. And that's what happens. So with CVRcade, you don't always need massive packs and pelotons and groups to see intricate and very strategic racing where every decision matters. Do I chase? Do I not chase? Do I attack? Do I not attack? Do I use my power up? Do I not use my power up? Do I choose this lane or that lane? Like, all these decisions, they are almost amplified with fewer racers, because you've got to be on your A game, because one mistake, you're out of the draft. One crash, you're out of the back, as Moti comes back in. This race doesn't have crashing enabled, as you have uncrashable as an ability, but halfway through, they've crested the top of the hill, and they're now on the descent. Team Cognition, they have the numbers. They have 2 in the front group and 1 chasing back. Sadeo is the ace in the hole, as Moti now hits to the front. You can see him accelerate. He moves to the right, and he's applying the pressure. Will Daniel try to latch on, or will he say, you know what, CCC, it's your turn to do something? For the time being, Daniel is sitting in. He now gets in line behind Thomas Tibbling and Niels Helden. So Thomas Tibbling taking up the pacing, and they have to be wary, because Thomas does have this as his preferred zone, meaning that if he finishes, normally you get 16 points because of 4 events, but it's 5. He ends up getting 20 extra points from 5 events finishing. So you're going to need to beat him if you're streaming in by 20 points extra or more. So Moti knows this, and that's why he's applying the pressure. Sadeo Keeper has come back. Oh, the Akiba shuffle strikes again. He is one of the most clever riders I've ever seen in the world, in the history of the CVR World Cup, because he may not be the strongest rider out there, but he's got strategic and knowledge like no other. And watching Sadeo race, he sat with the butts. He's like, you know what? I'm going to sit with the butts. I'm going to sit with the butts. I've got numbers with my 2 teammates in the front, and the blue riders of Team Cognition, once more, they pull one over. Watch Moti, though. He's slamming on the brakes. Moti Pikelny slowing down Thomas Tibbling here, and then he blocks Niels Heldens. Oh, we're seeing some blocking here, some gameplay. Niels and Thomas need to go right and left. They need to do a pincer move. Niels gets on through, and this is a continuation of the discussion on the CVRcade Riders Forum. Blocking or no blocking, controversy or no controversy. Well, nonetheless, it's a gameplay feature in the game right now, and Moti Pikelny is using it to his advantage. We saw Ryan Goldenberg, his brother-in-law, initiated in the Thursday racing, and today Moti Pikelny is the one to do it. It's so close, though. 3 kilometers to go, and it is far from over. But everybody's eyes are on Team Cognition, as Thomas Tibbling, no comeback kit this time. He does have 1 racer's edge and 1 quantum shift. He looks unfazed. Like, you look, okay, I can do it. If this is how we're going to play, I'm going to show you the IKEA way to assemble a race victory strategy here, as he brings out the notepad. So Moti Pikelny on the front, Daniel LeBlanc up there with Niels Heldens. Moti, though, accelerating 1,000 equalized watts. He splits the gap, and he goes on to the move on the hill. That incline, use it as a ramp, but the Tempest has got wings, and he is flapping them to get on the wheel of Moti Pikelny of Team Cognition. Niels Heldens, a young racer of Team Cycling Hub, he knows the danger that Moti possesses, and that's why you see him now accelerate and lead the front group. He knows that Daniel and Sadeo will do no work, so it's up to him to minimize his losses. He didn't have a good race on Country Rally, and here on Hypnotic Highway, he's trying to make up for it, though. But never count out Kayla Laguna. She's now bridging across. She did exactly the same as Sadeo Ikiba, and she is 4 seconds back from the chasing group and 10 seconds back from Moti Pikelny on the front. 2 kilometers to go now, as you can just see the pain, the suffering that is so unique to Moti Pikelny. Not everybody wears their feelings on the outside. Moti and I and a few others are part of that exclusive club that we're just pain face galore, but Niels Heldens 4 seconds back. he's going to be on the move. Thomas Tibbling is trying to limit his losses in the chasing group, but it's really might just be too little too late. Incline is coming up. He's got 5 seconds up to Niels, and then he's got 10 seconds up to Moti Bikelny. He's got Homer Thompson to help him, but could it be too little too late? Meanwhile, from the back, Kayla Laguna takes off one. She's caught Sadia Wikiba. Now she's got Daniel LeBlanc of Cognition, the next one to take off. She goes through. She said she didn't need the numbers. She can do it on her own. And now Daniel LeBlanc forced to use Razor's Edge as a precautionary move. And then he uses Quantum Shift. Excellent bit of gameplay there from the Canadian as he faces through Thomas Tibbling. And now he needs to catch on to Homer Thompson and Niels Heldens. They're just about to reach the top of Hypnotic Highway Hill number 2, and Moti is keeping no energy in reserve. He is spending it all pedal to the metal as Homer Thompson and Niels Heldens. They still have their power-ups available. Homer opting to use his Razor's Edge to keep Daniel LeBlanc at bay, to keep Thomas Tibbling at bay. And you can see just up the road, oh, he's just there. You can just reach out and grab him. But when you've used Razor's Edge, you're running out of space. 2 seconds between them. The finish line is just around the corner. 900 meters to go. And on the front, it is still Team Cognition's Moti Bikelny. He got second in he got first in Country Rally in the second race. Now he's poised to take the win here on Hypnotic Highway. But can he do it? He's used his power-ups. The riders behind him may have more left. Kayla's caught Thomas. There goes Niels Heldens. All or nothing from the Tempest. It is time for takeoff. Like, put on your seatbelts, keep the throw stored. Well, I can't even say it. I'm never going to be an airline hostess. But anyway, Niels Heldens is trying to do it. 2 seconds up, 1 second up to Moti Bikelny. 300 meters to go. Moti can see Niels in the rearview mirror. He's going to have to try and take every single point away because Niels has shown up and ready to race. 100 meters. You can see the finish line. It's ticking down. 75 meters, 50 meters. Both are giving it their absolute all. But Moti Bikelny will be the one winning Hypnotic Highway. Further down, you've got Homer Thompson. He's most likely going to take third place. But then Thomas Tibbling using his Razor's Edge. Now his Quantum Shift. He will take fourth place out on course, spinning away to keep Daniel LeBlanc and Kayla Laguna further down. So despite the great strategy from Sadia Wikiba, it will be all for none in the end as Daniel, Kayla, they will finish over the line next here on Hypnotic Highway. Great sprint between Moti and Niels Heldens. Niels, he tried it. He got just so close, but he wasn't able to get back on the draft. He wasn't able to quite make the connection in the end, and that's what made the difference between getting back on and then getting second place. But what this means is that Moti has a lead on the top of 24 points, but it's so close, and with another race coming up on Dust Bowl Crit, this will be intense. But just look at what it takes for Moti to keep Niels at bay and having the suffering. We all know that feeling of just breathing out pure CO2. Congratulations, Moti. Niels, at the end there, was there ever a moment you thought, oh, I blew it, all that work, and he's just going to catch me like that?
Oh, yeah, when he pushed 63 kilometers an hour and was 3 seconds away, I thought I was toast. So I just put my head down and tried to lay down the watts and held off. His timing was almost perfect. That he made me work for that. That was really, really hard.
Now, the whole block-in conversation that's happening on CVRcade riders, where does Cognition as a team stand in that conversation?
I think with it's a gameplay dynamic, just like any other, and everybody can equally operate it. I think we've got established sort of cultural norms just in the community about only blocking on the lead lap and not when you're lapped. And it's there have been some changes to make it harder to block, so you can't do the sweep blocks as easily. So there are tactics to evade and tactics to block, and the way it shakes out is pretty much how things happen on the road. Even though we may not be brake checking each other for safety, the outcomes with the way the brakes work and spaces between riders go has to do with sort of matches what would happen if we had that many teammates together in a break or up together against individual riders like in the last race.
Well, thanks, Moti. I mean, I guess that I know for sure the conversation will continue. I'll let Moti deal with the rest of the team there in the squad house. Good racing nonetheless. I'd love to go to speak to Nils, but Nils, just getting comfortable with getting on the broadcast. I believe Channel 1, you just tuned in, and thank you so much for spending your Saturday here in the company of CVRcade World Cup. My name is Jesper Anker, and you're watching Physical Esports. So on the left, you've got the person pushing down the watts. They're literally riding their bicycle. Now, that bicycle could be bought at Walmart. It could be bought at Specialized. It could be bought at whatever store. It doesn't matter. Your bike is hooked up to an indoor turbo trainer, and then all that data, all that power, all that speed gets transmitted virtually into the game. And the game is what you see on the right. It's a free-to-play game called CVRcade. And so you use your legs as the power device, as your controller. You know, when you play Need for Speed or you play Grand Theft Auto and you're controlling your cars with either right bumper or the analog sticks. Well, here, it's your legs. The faster you pedal, the faster you go in the game. And then you've got to steer. You got to choose the right lanes. You got to apex the corners. You've got power-ups. And you're seeing this on the left. So Moti is in the sprint. He's got Niels Heldens coming up behind him, and they're racing for a lot of money here in the CVRcade World Cup. So not only are you getting fit and getting fun, having fun and losing weight, you're racing for money. And that's why you see the likes of Moti really push it. And now we're on Dust Bowl Crit. This is a community-created course, so using the in-game track builder, they will now race and get underway. The racing is equalized, and you might say, what is equalization? What does that even mean? Well, what it means is that it's physically equalized. So no matter your ability to race, no matter your ability to ride your bike, and no matter your price point of your bike, if it's got 3 gears or 20 gears or 200 gears, as Daniel crashes on the left, you are able to compete at level terms with the rest. So Daniel, who normally streams in, he just crashed what you saw there. So he went through the corner, went a bit too quick, and like in real life, when your rear wheel slides out, you crash. And the same thing happened for our Swedish Viking Thomas Tibbling of Team CCC. Kayla Laguna on the front. She usually dominates in the racing with her teammates at Team CVR. Frank Garcia, as Daniel crashes once more, Rick Wood, Frank Garcia, and the rest. Now, there are power-ups, there are abilities available in the game to spice it up, as Niels Heldens also stacks it on the right. So to make it fun, to make fitness even more fun, just like in Mario Kart, you got your turtle shells, your banana peels, all these things to give you an advantage if you understand and spend the hours in the game. Now, in this one, you've got an ability called Razor's Edge. It makes you really, really thin. Now, we might ask yourself, what does that mean? Well, it means you're very aerodynamic, and that makes you quicker. Like with cars, with motorbikes, even with push bikes, being aerodynamic makes all the difference. You go a lot quicker. But when you add this as an ability, suddenly all the speeds are out of whack. Everybody has practiced it without the ability. And that's where the CVRcade World Cup changes things up. So Kale Laguna down in 5th. On the front, Moti Pikelny of Team Cognition. He won the 2nd race on Country Rally. He won the 3rd race on Hypnotic Highway. And now here on Dust Bowl Crit as he passes through Boulder Alley. Joyce DeSmit here in 2nd place. She races for Velocity Vixen, and she's going to try and put a spanner in the works for Moti Pikelny and Team Cognition's plans. We've got 2 laps of Dust Bowl Crit. It's rather technical, but with inertia and path of least resistance, you've got a chance to get back on terms with the front group despite crashing. As Daniel LeBlanc, somebody get this man some stabilizers. He falls off once more, but it is regroupment at the front. Joyce DeSmit is in the draft of Moti Pikelny. She didn't make the first set of races, so she comes in a bit more fresh, and we watched the two press it to the line here. Normally, we've also got Joy streaming in, but due to technical difficulties, she couldn't quite make it today, so we don't get to see her awesome smile, but she's pushing it here. She's slamming on the brakes, and she rather skillfully avoids sliding out, but 2 seconds down on Moti. She wants to win this one, and she's pushing every corner speed. Oh, she just pushes it a tiny bit over the line, and Moti can look back and go, oh, blessed. Thank you. I don't know how much of that I could do, but 1.4 kilometers to go. Kayla also goes crashing down. It is the exact same corner. Allows Homer to come on through. Niels Heldens also stacking it, and the reason why these very talented CVRcade World Cup racers are crashing is because of the new variable in the equation. The racer's edge ability really changes the way that you accelerate. Like, it's like adding a new engine to your car. It takes a while to get used to. As Joyce DeSmit crashes again. So the resistance of cognition for Moti Bikelny, I mean, it's being disassembled before it was even able to take off. And so Moti might make it 3 races in a row heading into Fantastic Alien Sea, but you never know. He may just get overconfident in one of these corners. But if you're enjoying watching this and you're fascinated and you're like, wait, Mario Kart with my legs? I can get fun. I can get fit while having fun and lose weight, and I can win money? Well, it's also free to play. So if you want to click the follow button down below, you get updated when we go live, because we don't just stream here on Saturdays. We stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. But then also, if you want to take part in this and you already have some of the equipment, and even if you don't, you can get the equipment through the hardware store in the game. You can go to CVRcade, sign up. It is free to play as you watch Moti skillfully go through Boulder Alley. Behind him, Kale Laguna is leading on the chase. She's down in 5th place, fighting with Thomas Tibbling, Joyce DeSmit, Homer Thompson, Niels Heldens, the Tempest. He's 30 points down on Moti, and Moti has just cleaned the shop today. It must be the tactical help he's got from his little helper by the side, as Team Cognition pulling out all the stops. Daniel LeBlanc, Sadia Wikiba, Moti Bikelny, they can be happy with the racing so far today. Niels Heldens now 2nd place. Team cycling up. He's going to go through to the left here, and then he will take 2nd place. Oh, he's going to crash! Homer Thompson has got a chance to catch him now. The yellow jersey of Homer Thompson comes in. It's going to be a sprint to the line. Homer has got the ability to beat him if he's got a sprint on him. Side by side, pushing everything they've got. It's going to be Niels Heldens on the right, despite the crash, as Homer tried. Joyce DeSmit at the very end, as Homer absolutely just parks it. He's got nothing left. It was a close 3-up sprint. Kayla will take 4th here on Dust Bowl Crit, and then 5th place further down will be Thomas Tibbling as he crosses the line next out on course. So for those that stuck around from Channel 1, thank you very much for tuning into the broadcast and staying here. We highly appreciate it. As we broadcast today here, Zone E. Later today, we're going to do Zone K and Zone L as well. That gets going in about 5 to 6 hours. So make sure you click that follow button down below to get emails when we go live. So on the left now, you're watching the highlights. Niels Heldens was trying to catch up to Moti. Moti comes on through. He just stares at the screen, hoping not to crash, because it means he can save energy for the 5th and final race here in Zone E. Fantastic Alien Sea, 2 laps, weight lifted is the ability with 1 racer's edge. Looking like at the top, Moti Bikelny running away with it. As you can see my reaction. The Tempest, Niels Heldens, just coming on through, pushing it too hard. He crashes down, but we do have Moti in and ready to go. Good racing on Dust Bowl Crit. Moti, you've kind of clean shop today. Daniel LeBlanc took win in the first race. You've taken in the latter 3. What's your secret sauce to success today?
It's all having teammates in the race. Makes it easier physically. Was able to draft them, and even though was able to go off the front, my level of work for that victory compared to the people who were in without teammates or didn't have teammates in the break was lower. So I was really well rested coming into this race that we just had, and able to sort of cool my jets And it's always easier to race from ahead than behind because you don't have to push it. And when we have these special power-ups enabled that increase the speeds, you don't want to have to make up time on people. You want to be able just to go as steady as possible. So that puts me in the driver's seat. The teamwork at the beginning set me up to be able to sort of play defense and race conservatively. And as we saw in the last track, that produces good results when other people are under pressure and crashing.
Play defense. That's something I haven't heard before about CVRcade and the racing. That is very clever. Thank you, Moti. If you want to be part of a team, Cognition, you can see they're cleaning up shop. We've also got Thomas Tippling. He's in third. And he's battling Daniel, Nils, Homer, and Kayla for that podium spot. Thomas, it's been 4 tough races. Are you ready for the 5th and final one here in Zone E?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Now I'm getting to use the tracks, etc. I'm still amazed by you, Moti, and everybody getting that tremendous power. I wonder what trainer they have, right? But regardless, yeah, I'm sort of coming like from behind, so it's a lot of fun. Just every spot I can create, and this is sort of the first time I experienced some blocking or serious blocking, which is sort of a little bit annoying, but that's part of the game. I guess just have to be more tactical, but it's really hard when you're very exhausted too. And then obviously it's hard to make difference of the bots still, or not the bots, but everyone is riding, who is who, and what team do they belong to, especially with the alien guys. All right, we're up for going. Yeah.
Good luck, Thomas. I'm sure if we had more time, Thomas could say much more about the racing. It's good to see the joyfulness of the racing coming on through. As Thomas jokingly asked, what trainer is he on? Well, it doesn't actually matter. You could be on the most inaccurate trainer of all time, but it'd actually be a disadvantage for you. As Thomas crashes down, he's just not having a good one. As the smile, the grimace, they all match into 2. But yeah, the inaccuracy of the trainer actually works against you instead of for you. As Kayla also takes a tumble, you actually want to try and get the most accurate trainer so you can really push it the way you want to do it. As Kayla looks over, smiles, not in a usual position, down in 15th with Thomas Tippling. Moti, though, we've got 2 laps of Fantastic Alien Sea. It's got a long climb with a tricky descent, and he is the one once more, like, just pushing down the power on the front, allowing the team to play defense. Like, I'd never really thought about the racing that way, but when you say it like that, it's quite clever, and it probably explains a bit of Team Cognition's success here. As in this race, you've got weight lifted as an ability on at all times here, making them 30 kilograms lighter at all times. I know when I said you can lose weight and get fitter, I wish I can give you, and myself included, a weight lifted and like in real life and just say, here, take this, keep it in your wallet, walk around. But no, you got to be in CVRcade to enjoy those advantages. So 3-man group on the front, Moti, Homer, and Joyce make up the 3 leading riders. The podium is changing ever so often on the scoreboard. Of course, this is pending any bonus points given out for preferred zone and streaming. But Nils, Homer, Thomas, Daniel, Kayla, and Sadeo, they've all got chances of making that podium, but they've got to race with everything they've got. Sadeo and Nils Heldens, they're going to get back on terms with the lead group. They've almost climbed the hill 1 out of 2, so they only get 2 races. So it's a bunch of short back-to-back racing here, but it's quite fun. It's quite addicting, and you want to always try and do better. And if you want to try and do better, there's more racing tonight in Zone K and Zone L as Nils and Sadeo, they move to the left. We look from above, and it is Moti P. Kelney still applying the pressure. He's just got to make sure to finish this race up near the top, as now he uses Racer's Edge. So you only get one Racer's Edge. It's the only power-up, and he is sprinting to get away here. And he's establishing quite the gap, 3 seconds, but you got to be careful. This descent is treacherous. It's a long sweeping right with some tight right-handers at the bottom, and those you can't take at too much of a speed because you'll find yourself sliding at the butts. 7 seconds back from the front group. Thomas Tibbling is trying to get on terms with them. You're watching Homer on the screen now. These riders are trying to make up the gap on Moti, but Moti using Racer's Edge there is clever. Sadeo is bombing through the corners. He's at 52 k's an hour, and then he goes crashing down in third place. So he attempted to be up there near the front, but just sliding out, it wasn't going to be. And same thing for Niels Hildens. I think he just overlapped the wheels with the rider ahead of him. So the 4-man group is down to 2, with Homer Thompson and Joyce Smith, the only 2 surviving members not to crash. Joyce slows down, 2 seconds down on Moti Bikelny. He rides through the mist, and he starts the final lap of racing here on Fantastic Alien Sea. Thomas Tippling just got on terms. He worked so hard. Oh, he worked so hard to get back on terms with those riders that crashed. And then he slides out in the final corner. Homer Thompson as well also slides down. So the abilities really just changing the dynamics of the game, as CVRcade also crashes, overlapping the wheels. Everybody just taking a tumble, and this shows that what Moti is doing here, what Moti is doing, is quite successful. It's quite powerful to be in a leading position like this and apply the pressure on the chasing group. But I think there's a hungry Joyce Smith. I think Joyce, a Velocity Vixen, she's a 193 equalized heart rate. She's going to want to bridge that gap. And you can see she's standing up, applying that pressure, sitting down, standing up, applying that pressure, and then sitting down. 2 kilometers to go. She's 6 seconds down. She's still got a power-up available. Will she use hers like Moti used his? They've climbed halfway of the climb for the last time. It is the US of A, Moti Bikelny versus Belgium, Joyce Smith. 6 seconds. She's got a 10-second lead on Homer. Nils is further down, and so Thomas Tibbling further down with Kale Laguna as well. But 4 seconds now for Moti. The gap is going in the wrong direction. He's won 3 races. Can he make it 4 out of 5 and complete the Team Cognition clean sweep, taking 1st through 5 all races? Now we look, 5 seconds. He is going to get to the top very soon. He's on the last bit of incline. We go first person view here of Joyce Smith as she sticks to the inside lane. She's not really opting as now she moves, but prior to this, she wasn't really apexing every corner, taking the shortest route. She was more focused on applying the pressure, and she's now at 195 equalized heart rate. Coming into the inside here, she uses Racer's Edge at the very, very top of the climb. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, she's pushing it, and she's got a speed differential, but she's gonna crash. Oh, she has to slow down. This is why where Moti used his power-up earlier was so effective, because you don't have to worry about sliding out. So she used it, but she realized that she was sliding out and was going to crash as she braked. But then that negates the momentum she gained, and 4 seconds is the gap. 800 meters left, and Moti Bikelny with his assistants live there playing games on the iPad, and now they get ready for another celebration. They have to be weary though, because Niels Heldens is coming back, but too little, too late for him, as he will take 2nd place, most likely ahead of Thomas Tibbling. Joyce Smith, she can see Moti's 2 seconds up. She is pushing it to the limit here. I think it's going to be a sprint to the line, but she comes on through, and then she just falls over. She pushed it to the line, and you could just see tick, tick, tick. She went over the railings, and now Niels Heldens further back. He's gonna be a nuisance for Joyce, seeing if he can come by. 6 seconds is the gap for those two as he's on the descent. He can see Joyce further up, but on the front, 100 meters to go. Moti Bikelny, Team Cognition, taking all 5 races to their name. Be a proud day, proud moment. As you can see, he's getting ready, and now we get a celebration from Moti. Happy with the teamwork. Joyce will be second now, and then Niels Heldens will be third. Further down, you've got Homer Thompson, you've got Thomas Tibbling, and Sadeo Ikiba. Great racing all around. Thomas Tibbling, a few crashes, a few stumbles earlier on. He will be looking back at the broadcast, taking notes how to race these races as Sadeo Ikiba also comes down the racing. But this was Sony. We've got more racing tonight here on Mixer. We've got more races with Zone K and Zone L of the CVRcade World Cup. And you're going to see people like Tim Fulford, Ben Shuilong, Jeff Rooney, as well as some of these races you're watching right now as they get ready for 5 more races in the CVRcade World Cup Open session. But what a race. Personally, really like the 5 races, as in the end, Moti Bikelny will show a bit of emotion. We didn't see it earlier, as it was business as usual. You don't count your chickens until it's all over. But celebration, Moti. Congratulations. Clean sweep from Team Cognition. How much does that mean to you as a team leader to be able to say you took all 5 races?
Oh, it was great. Daniel had the first one, real strong performance, and then with everybody's support, like we were talking about, able to play defense and race smart. It was really good. These are tough races with the permanent power-ups. I have to say that in addition to the teamwork, it's also just knowing that, having played these courses under regular circumstances while pushing it, and knowing the speeds and being able to try to take them conservatively is real hard to do with the power-up. So I was surprised there weren't more crashes, and hats off to the people who are newer to the game and who are nailing it and keeping it close. It wasn't easy, even though it looked like it at the front. Joyce put a ton of pressure on me. She has a lot of experience, but Thomas and others behind, after they crashed, they kept pushing, and their speeds got better and better, and the timing for everybody got better and better on the corners going through. So, the next race, every race after this, won't be as easy as more people have more experience in game, and more people arrive with teammates and everything. So it was a lot of fun, but we can't rest on our laurels.
Will we see you and the Cognition riders return for more racing tonight in Zone KNL?
Yeah, I should be here for KNL. Gonna try to get some recovery and recovery pancakes in between, so it should be fun.
Well, we'll see if that will be the secret sauce to success later again tonight. Thank you, Moti. Thomas, 3rd place on the day provisionally. We wait for the official results, of course, as always, on Cycle Data. How did your afternoon of racing pan out from CCC's perspective?
In the picture yet?
Yep.
Oh, I only see Moti there, but it doesn't matter. No, great. It was a goal to at least be close to the top, and this was really above my expectations to get into 3rd place. So I really enjoyed it. It was very hectic. I missed it. It was 1 hour earlier, and I rushed things and forgot the missiles on. So the first race, my legs totally cold, and then full of acid. So I was really happy that the country rally was more of a trick. And unfortunately, I stupid corner. I should have known better. And then the other crash on the last one. I just caught up with everyone, and I was sure it was 40, but it's 36. And I was saying, no, I'm not going to break more. And there I went. And that was so disappointing. And from there on, it was just to bite and chew on, just to make sure that you stayed in your position. Yeah.
Well, to echo what Moti said earlier, Thomas, it's great to have you and the other racers get in and get better and better at the game. It's been a real joy watching you in particular get through, and I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with once you have all the corner speeds, etc., down with CCC. So thank you, Thomas, for taking the time to race with us today. Last but not least, we've got Kayla in the broadcast as well. It wasn't a day for her, really, but Kayla, more races tonight. Just like Moti, will you be back for more racing later on?
Yes, definitely. I'll be back for Zone KNL, and yeah, I got 6th place in this one, so was able to learn a lot in this because we haven't done 5 events before, so that was definitely a different dynamic, and just having certain abilities on throughout those 5 races. So feeling a lot more confident going into Zone KNL. So hopefully not so many crashes later on today. But congratulations to Modi and Team Cognition for taking the win on this one. Great team tactics today.
And there you have it, everybody. More reasons to watch later on tonight. Some of these races they've gone through, they've reconned the courses, and they now understand the 5 races that are ahead of them. It was really good to see Sadeo, Kayla, Daniel, Joyce, Homer, Thomas, Nils, and Moti get in here and do the racing. And if you want to get involved, not too late. We race later on tonight. CVRcade.com is the place to be as you watch the highlights here. A fantastic Alien Sea. It was a good race. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the 2 laps. Moti and Joyce, they ran to the end. As we see Joyce, she crashes down. She really pushed Moti. And I think it comes down to the racer's edge. She had the right idea. She had the power, but just that one wrong, like just one turn too early perhaps, and she had to brake, slows down the momentum. She pushes it in on the descent, and it's Moti Pikelny who can make 4 races in a row, 5 in a row for Cognition, with Daniel LeBlanc taking the first win. But we've got all the highlights to show you here from all the 5 races ahead. We started with Echelon, the no-skill event. And it was Cognition who really set the tone as they had numbers in the front. Daniel LeBlanc, Sadeo Ikeba, and Moti Pikelny were joined by Nils Heldens as it was an early attack by Daniel LeBlanc, who was just going to keep everybody else at bay. And Moti had to just mark the Tempest, Nils Heldens. So 1 there as you see them cross the finish line. Then it was time for Country Rally, the tempo course that was made even more technical with the addition of wind at your back as an ability. We watched Thomas. He comes into the corner. He's got Uncrashable on, and just as he comes through the corner, he's at too high of a speed, goes ding, 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 and then he meets the grass on the left as a touch of wheels. Then it was further in. Moti was in a winning position here, comes through the barn, but it was going to be so close further back because with a race like this, 2 laps, a crash is never really over, because if you can find your rhythm and you can apply the pressure, you can force somebody else to make the mistake. And that was really the story of the racing today, is the pressure really got to some of the races. The advantage in numbers from the likes of Cognition, of Homer and Thomas of CCC. That is really a powerful advantage to have in the racing, especially here as we saw it on Hypnotic Highway. Teammates can make all the difference. So if you're racing and you're still unaffiliated in the CVRcade World Cup racing, you should probably look to get on a team, because it really makes the difference. And hearing Moti speak about the option to play defense is so strange, as we now see him literally playing defense for his riders on the front. That's what makes the difference. And that means you can cash in that currency of pressure. And that was the story of the zone here. Could you survive the pressure, the onslaught of Cognition? And Nils, the Tempest, really brought it to Moti here. He got up to a rather high speed, but just as he got on terms, Moti had another gear, attacks over the top here, and breaks the spirit of Nils. So despite Nils having the power up, having the power, he just didn't have the mental capacity to go that much deeper to close the final 2-second gap. Dustball crit. The race's edge on this one really put a spanner in the works for the likes of Daniel LeBlanc, for Thomas Tibbling, and for Nils Heldens and Joyce. They just went all over the place as they went through Boulder Alley. They went up the hill, down the chicane, and into the tight corner. Everybody getting to know the rocks a bit more personally, as I think you could see the personal impact it had on me for them crashing. I live vicariously through all these racers, as their joys, their emotion, their stress, their downs, their ups. It all gets broadcasted through the stream, and you feel it, I feel it, and that's what makes the story so compelling here in the CVRcade World Cup, as Moti Pikelny The man who couldn't be moved today. He had the script right on cue as he was just unbeatable. But it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight in Zone K and L live right here on Mixer as Niels Heldens, a rising star in the CVRcade community. I know he bought a kicker and he bought a computer just for the sake of racing the CVRcade World Cup, and he can make all that money back if he manages to perform well here in the CVRcade World Cup. And with the bracketed sessions coming up soon, it's time to see if you've got what it takes to make it to the top. But this is the decisive play of the day. Razor's Edge on this straightaway is what made the difference between Moti and Joyce taking the win. That straightaway was the point where you can really maximize the utility of the Razor's Edge as Homer crashes, Sadeo crashes, Niels crashes, all not used to that ability of a weight lifted, making you 30 kilograms lighter here in Zone E. And you're going to see the same races, the same power-ups, different actors, most likely different outcomes in Zone K and L later on. You see, this is where she had to break. She had the right idea, but just one corner too early. And then she pushed it on the descent. And when you push it to the limit and you don't lick the envelope, it doesn't get sent. And that's what happened there. Return to sender. Moti B. Kilney, you know it, zip up the jersey, hands above his head. That feeling of euphoria is one of the best feelings you can have while exercising. Understanding every bit of decision making it took to get to that point justifies the feeling of, wow, I just dug so deep, but I can't even start to feel that in my legs just now, but he will feel it later. I hope you've enjoyed the racing. Click that follow button down below. We'll be live with more racing in about I think it's 5 to 6 hours time. So click that follow button below to get notified when we go live. But until then, we'll see ya. But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.